Let's talk residential property deals. Those of you that watch me on YouTube know that I ain't keen on residential property. Now, I've got a residential property portfolio, I've kept it, but because of the government tax changes here in the UK, I haven't been flirting with the idea of buying more. However, when the deals look a bit more commercial, i.e. blocks of flats, I want to get involved and tickle my taste buds and have a little look around. This is a block of flats in Southend-on-Sea, and when you're buying this many flats in one go, there are some tax advantages. Now, the agent's going to be here in a minute. Now, look, when I buy a property, I'm looking for a deal. Is there an angle? Is there something that could potentially add value? I'm liking the massive car park at the back. Maybe you could extend the property one day. There's so much parking over there. It's bloody, like you could put a marquee in there and have a wedding. I like the look of the building. I feel it's a new building. It's got to be huge maintenance issues. Good roof, nice guttering, tick, tick, tick. And it's also fully let. There's tenants in there. It's already income producing. Let me give you some quick rough numbers. 1.3 million. It's up for 65,000 of rent coming in. Initially, I don't really like that. 65 grand of rent on a 1.3 million investment. I like to try and get as close to 10% of that 1.3 million. So I want to get 130 in, and I'm only getting 65 in. So let's wait for the agent and start asking the questions. But he owns the complete freehold of all of it.
He does own the freehold.
Do you have Ross's or do you own Ross's?
Yeah, I do have something to do with Ross's.
Do
yeah.
you? That's handy then, isn't it?
Do you like Ross's? This is so lovely, isn't it, for a flat? Why does he want to sell the guy that's got it? Do you feel they're under rented? Or about right?
I think slightly under.
How many properties do you guys manage?
Over 800.
Do you?
Yeah.
We think there's 11 flats, 2 are owned by someone else.
Yeah.
If it's up for 1.3, divided by 7, that's 185 grand a flat. 1.3 divided by 9, if there is 9, is 144,000 a flat. Yeah, let's keep in touch. Anything like this, let me know, yeah? Do I want to get back into residential property? I think what's going to be really interesting for you guys making a decision on this is we're about to now go and see a second block of flats that's literally 7 minutes drive away. It's SS1, this is SS1. I don't like the yields, I don't like the return on investments. Is there an opportunity with this giant car park to do something in the future? What I do like, it's in Southend, it's a town I understand, it's right near the station, very highly populated, fully let. He even said, I know him, he spoke that you heard that I feel like he feels it's a little bit overpriced. You know, it's 1.3 million for 7 properties. It's like £1 million. It's still only 6.5% yield. I want to get closer to 10%. But then at that juncture, I've got to find at least £250,000 as a deposit to buy it, or I've got to find angles if I can get creative if I want to do that. Even if I've got the rents up a little bit, the income's only going to be 70 grand a year, and you're going to have quite an amount of debt to service. So I think what I'm going to do at the end of this video, after we've seen the second block of flats, let's get on the flip chart and look at the pros of either one and see if one stacks up more. Or buy both, who knows? Hello, I'm here to see the flats. And how many flats in total? Have you got any rentals coming in on any of them? And you developed this?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Did it used to be a HMO?
No.
Can I just quickly have a look in them?
Sure you can.
Do you want me to go and close these windows, love? Chuds, give my love to my children. You want to be in here on a hot day, it's nice and cool, isn't it? So guys, what a fantastic opportunity this could be. And I don't like residential property. We've looked at 2 blocks of flats right now. Block of flat A, 1.3 million purchase price, 65,000 rent that we could be helping ourselves to. Property number 2, up for 800,000. I think we can get £60,000 worth of rent back. I would arguably say property number 2 is much closer to Southend, much closer to another train station, much closer to the university, really nice road, much better return on investment. And let's go to the flip chart and I'll explain all this to you right now. Let's have a look at these 2 deals now, option A and option B. I broke it down so it's really simple, really for myself to understand as much as you. Option A, purchase price £1.3 million. The rent roll was £65,000. I've got a few points here that I want you to consider when looking at property investments. I didn't like that block of flats because it was not whole ownership. Remember, there was some people owned some flats and another guy owned the other flats. Oh, complicated. You just know there's going to be problems with that. And I'm also looking, where's the options to add the value? Now, there was that huge, great big car park at the back. Could you put a bungalow in the back or even extend the flats? Because now you don't actually need as much parking because planning regulations have changed with blocks of flats. You can just have bicycle parking now. Who knows? The other thing, BMV. Is there an option to get this property from a motivated seller at below market value? I don't think that is the case here from what the agent told me. I think this guy would actually, if he doesn't get the right price he wants from them, he'll just keep them and collect the rent. Let's have a look at option B. £800,000 purchase price. These are the prices that were on the particular. So no negotiations have happened here. These are just the headline prices. Rent roll, £60,000. Now, the option B property, they were all empty, but I've done my calculations using Rightmove and Mouse Price and Zoopla to work out what I think the rent roll would be. But I like this. You got whole ownership. You own the freehold. You own all the properties. You control the whole asset. You've got no one to answer to. Huge tick in my opinion. Now, option B, looking to add value, because every time I look at property I want to see, well, where can I add some value? You see that I bought an industrial estate just a year ago. There was an option to add value because there was planning to put 22 more units on. So I'm not just buying that £60,000 worth of cash flow, I'm looking for the angle to increase the value. Where's the angle in option B? Well, all those properties are owned in a limited company. They're all on one title. Now you can increase value by taking a property that's got multiple flats on one title and then split titling them with land registry. Probably going to cost you about £10,000 in solicitors' fees to do that. But then you can value each property individually, thus increasing the value. So that was a real big winner-winner chicken dinner moment for me there, if that was an option to do with this property. But what about the BMV? Is there a motivated seller there? Do they want to get out of the property really quick? Do they just hate the thing? Can you come in like a knight in shining armor and just take over the challenge and turn it into a positive business acquisition? Well, yes, I think there is an option here. So I think we can get that £800,000 down and option to add value. Over here, I don't think we can get below market value, but there is a huge opportunity with that land at the back to add value. Now, before we go any further, let's work out that return on investment. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you which one of those properties I bought. I did buy one of them. But before I do that, I want you to know my thought process. How do I work out that return on investment to get the maximum value for the pounds that I'm putting in to get the best possible return on investment? It's really simple. You work out your annual positive cash flow. So say you're buying a property, what's your positive cash flow after your mortgage, after your repairs, after your lettings fees? You get that number. You then divide it by your total cash in to buy that property. So this would be your deposit, your stamp duty, your legal fees. You get those two figures, you divide them by each other, and then you times them by 100, and then you get your return on investment. Simplify this even further. Let's do some working examples on option A, that first block of flats, and option B, that second block of flats. So option A, that first block of flats that we want to see. We know the key metric here. What's the rent roll? £65,000 per year. And then we know after that £60,000 comes into our bank account, we've got to pay the mortgage fees, we've got to pay the repairs, the letting fees. And I've worked out that's going to leave you with about £15,000 worth of annual positive cash flow. We then need to divide it by the total cash that we've had to stump up to acquire that property. Now, in this situation, it's about £400,000 to acquire that property. That's 25% of the £1.3 million purchase price. Then we've got the stamp duty and the legals, etc., etc. And I've roughly worked out that's about 400 grand. So we're going to get the £15,000 into our calculator. We divide it by £400,000. That figure then needs to be times by 100, and option A will give us a return on investment of about 3.75%. What does that get? A big fat raspberry. What if you've got a few void periods? That £15,000 can be eroded really quickly. What if you can't get a 4% interest rate? Maybe it's 6%, maybe base rate goes up to 3%, you're paying 9%. It's absolutely shocking how many people have got property investments based around this figure. Let's have a look at option B. You can see where this is going here, gang, very, very quickly. Actually, a very similar amount of rent coming in. Let's take off the interest. Let's take off the annual repairs. Let's take off the letting fees. I've worked out you're going to get at least £30,000 worth of positive cash flow. Then we divide it by the cash to acquire the property, about £250,000. 400 on option A, 250 on option B, positive cash flow. Let's now work out a magical formula. You divide these two times by 100 and you're going to get 12% return on investment. Now that's before we've negotiated on these properties. Could I get the option A down by 10%? Could I get option B down by 10%? Could I get the interest rate fixed for 5 years at 3%? All those factors would increase my return on investment. If you're loving this video and you want to learn more about property investment and understanding how I structure deals, then I think you're going to love my Entrepreneurs University. I've created this online module training platform with video lessons, swipe files, blueprints, that go into detail way more than I do on YouTube. And you can try it for free at my website, jamessinclair.net, and see if I can help grow your property portfolio and your business. Come on, let's go. Well, I think it's obvious I went for option B and I bought this beautiful block of flats in central Southend. There's a big train station literally on the road behind us. The high street's just there. Loads of offices around. We've got accountants and lawyers. There's 3 at the front here and a big extension at the back with a further 3. So that 12% ROI that I was talking to you about seems pretty good on paper. What if I could get it actually a lot higher? Right, let's get inside and I'll take you through how juicy the numbers got. Right, we're literally clearing these flats out now. We've got viewings already tomorrow. We've literally owned this place for about 72 hours. So the idea is to get cash flowing into the business as quick as possible, because those that regularly watch, whether it's business or property, keeping the cash flowing keeps the business going. We've done some really smart stuff as well. We've signed up to our own Zoopla account so that we can market all of our properties on our own now, right, thus reducing all of the costs of estate agency fees. Once you can get volume, once you can get revenue, turnover up, you can really drive down costs. But I know what you want to know. You want to know about the return on investment, don't you? Come on, let's find out. So this is the ground floor flat in the block of 6. There's a garden here as well. Looking really forward to getting the viewings in and turning this investment into a cash flowing asset, which is really important as a landlord. Now, let me talk to you about the numbers. How do I do the deal? Now, I told you that the opening price was 800,000. What did I actually purchase it for? £150,000 discount I got on that, so I bought it for £650,000. Now, viewer, you're probably thinking, well, how has James managed to get £150,000 off of the asking price? Well, you see, on option A, they weren't motivated sellers. On option B, they were motivated sellers. What does that mean? This is a landlord that don't want to be a landlord anymore. This is a landlord that actually got rid of all the tenants because she was just sick of dealing with stuff. We're good at that. We've got multiple tenants. I've got a PA that loves the administration. We can do that stuff really good. And there is some cosmetic things to finish. Like this cupboard, for example, doesn't close. There's some skirting boards off. There's some painting to be done. She just couldn't be bothered to do this stuff. Additionally, she had bridging finance on the property. Now, why did she use bridging finance? She extended these back 3 properties and she just had a nightmare building it, doing all the planning. She tried to be a property developer when she wasn't a property developer. All of that stress just got on top of her. So I said, look, if I can complete on this quickly, I'll take it off your hands and get all your money back, and then you just go off into the sunset. Lovely. I'd done the deal there and then. I was the first person to come and view it, and I said, look, I'll even use my own cash, or I'll use bridging to get it off of your hands as quick as possible. So that's what we did. So that got me my £150,000 discount. Motivated seller, and I said that I could act quickly. I decided to use bridging money, which is like 1.24% a month, which is eye-watering sums of money, which is less than she was paying, by the way. That's like credit card money, because it's 1.25%. That's like 14% APR, just ridiculous amount of money. And what I've done is I've committed to pay at least 3 months worth of interest. I've had to pay that up front. Now, when I revalue this to get it onto mortgage debt, which will be about 3 to 4% per year, I'll be able to get a lot of my cash back out and recycle my cash. Because at the moment I've got between 120 and 150,000 pounds of cash locked up in that I can't put to work on something else. So here's what I've got to do. Get a mortgage company to come in and value the property. I think we'll get it valued at 950,000. You're thinking, bloody hell, he's bought it for 650. How's he going to get it to 950 in such a short amount of time? Well, first of all, I'm going to get it fully tenanted. Secondly, I could split title all of the property, because at the moment it's on one title. By split titling it, I'm raising the valuation, and I'll finish off all the medial works like this. All those things will contribute to it. This will become a long-term rental asset for us. We're never going to sell it. It'll be good security for us. After 10 years of owning it, it will double in value. That'll be able to give security to my children, my family, in case anything happens to me, because it's much easier to look after a property portfolio than it is to look after a trading business. And also I can give it to my main bank as security if I want to do something else in the business. So there's the numbers, and you're probably trying to work it all out. He's bought it for 650, he's getting 60,000 of rent in, positive cash flow is 36,000. My actual amount that I'm putting up to buy this, it could all come back out to me in 6 months with a revaluation once I've finished the works. Therefore, the return on investment is at least 20% and could be way higher. And I'll keep you updated in the next 6 months on how this story goes. Did we get it fully tenanted? Did I manage to actually get it onto long-term debt as quick as I'd like to? I'm working on that right now. I'll tell you all here on the YouTube channel. Right, let's go. Oh, it's wet. Yeah, these would have been nice, wouldn't they, years ago? What's that here then? Gas, 3 gas meters. I need to sort of empty this bin. I love that you're filming this, Chuds.